All right, so let's dive into something kind of wild here. Imagine like you've poured your heart and soul into building a career on one platform and then bam, it's just gone, vanished. That's what like US-based TikTok creators might be facing. And it really makes you think, what happens when a social media giant just like disappears? What happens to all the creators? Where do they go? How do they adapt? It's fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. And in this deep dive, we're going to explore that. Like what happens? What's the potential fallout of a TikTok ban? But we're going to look beyond just TikTok itself, because what's happening here, I think it has like implications for the entire future of online content creation. We've got some expert predictions and insights to unpack. And trust me, some of this stuff is really surprising.
Okay, so first things first. It seems kind of obvious that creators are going to flock to other platforms, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing that's been bugging me. Most of these creators were already on YouTube. They were already on Instagram and all the rest. So what fundamentally changes if TikTok goes away?
You've hit on a key point there. It's about a shift in focus. Before, these other platforms were often seen as a way to like supplement income. Maybe experiment with different content formats. But now we're talking about replacing a primary income stream. And that's a whole different ballgame. That changes content strategy, posting frequency, pretty much everything.
Yeah, it's like suddenly needing a full-time job.
Yeah.
When you're used to just doing a few side gigs. And speaking of new jobs, everyone seems to think YouTube Shorts is like the obvious answer, right? YouTube's the king of video. Short-form content is exploding. Seems like an easy win for TikTok creators.
Well, not so fast. There's a catch, and it's a big one. To even qualify for monetization on YouTube Shorts, you need a whopping 3 million views in just 90 days.
Wait, 3 million? In 3 months, that's a lot. That's more than most YouTubers get on their regular videos, right?
Absolutely. For a lot of established YouTubers, that's like a really successful 90 days. So you can imagine for creators migrating from TikTok, this is a massive hurdle. It's not just about creating content anymore. It's about creating content that goes viral consistently.
Okay, so YouTube Shorts is not the quick fix everyone thinks it is. But I'm guessing there's got to be some upside to building a presence on YouTube, even if it's a long game.
Definitely. Even if monetization takes time, YouTube is known for its longevity and stability. And that counts for a lot in this unpredictable world of online platforms.
Okay, so maybe not instant riches, but a solid foundation for the long term. What about Instagram Reels? Like everyone's already making TikToks, right? And lots of creators already have Instagram followings. Plus, getting paid on Instagram seems a lot easier, at least on the surface. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you're right. Reels is tempting for a lot of creators. The format is familiar. They might already have an audience there. And there are options for monetization, like brand sponsorships and the Reels Play bonus program.
So is it fair to say that Instagram Reels is kind of the short-term winner in this whole situation? The place where creators are most likely to see quick results?
Potentially. But there are some limitations to consider. Instagram's algorithm tends to favor established accounts. So it makes it harder for newcomers to break through and gain traction. Also, those monetization programs aren't available everywhere in the world. Global reach is limited.
So it's kind of like choosing between a quick gig and building a long-term business.
Right.
Both have their pros and cons. It comes down to individual goals and strategies.
Exactly. And that brings up a crucial point. Diversification. In a world where platforms can vanish overnight, putting all your eggs in one basket is risky. Our sources highlighted some alternatives that go beyond the usual suspects of YouTube and Instagram, and that's where things start to get really interesting.
Yes, our sources pointed to some options I hadn't even considered, like using Twitch or even Kick for live streaming. That seems like a totally different approach to content creation, especially for those used to making pre-recorded polished videos. What are the advantages there?
Well, for one thing, live streaming offers a real-time connection with your audience. It can be a more authentic experience. And it allows creators to build a different kind of relationship with their fans.
And let's be honest, some creators might be feeling burnt out on the pressure of constantly churning out those perfectly edited TikToks.
Exactly. Live streaming provides a different kind of creative outlet, a chance to be more spontaneous, less polished. It's about genuine interaction, which can be incredibly appealing.
And the monetization models are different too.
Yeah.
You're talking about tips, subscriptions, that sort of thing.
Exactly. It's a different model, but it has the potential to be incredibly lucrative, especially as these platforms continue to grow and evolve.
So we've got platform hopping, we've got creators exploring new ways to monetize their content. But is that the whole picture? Is there something bigger happening here? Something that goes beyond just finding a new platform?
There is. What's fascinating about the situation is that it's forcing creators to think bigger, to become entrepreneurs in the truest sense of the word. They can't rely on a single platform anymore. They have to build their own brand, their own business.
Yeah.
And that requires a whole different set of skills.
And I think that's where a lot of the innovation is happening. Our research highlighted some amazing examples of this. Creators are selling digital products like templates, online courses, even personalized shout-outs. It's like a whole new world of possibilities has opened up.
Absolutely. And while it's undoubtedly challenging, it's also incredibly exciting. It's forcing creators to get creative, to think outside the box, and to build a business that goes beyond just one platform. It's about connecting with their audience on a deeper level, building a brand that truly represents who they are.
It's like they're building their own mini media empires. But let's be real, that hustle is real. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of creativity, and a whole lot of work to make this transition.
Absolutely. This is not a walk in the park. It requires adaptability, resourcefulness, and a whole lot of resilience. But let's be honest, most creators already possess these qualities. They've built careers out of nothing on platforms that didn't even exist a few years ago. They're used to adapting, to pivoting, to finding new ways to reach their audience.
Right. They've proven they can handle this kind of change. So even though this might feel like a crisis for many, I can also see it as an opportunity to redefine what it means to be a creator, to build something more sustainable, more meaningful. What are your thoughts on that?
I completely agree. This is a chance for creators to step up, to innovate, and to redefine what it means to succeed in the creator economy. And that brings us to the biggest question of all. What does this mean for the future of online content?
Hit me with it. What's the big question we need to be asking ourselves?
What if your primary income source disappeared tomorrow? How would you adapt? What skills and assets would you leverage to rebuild? It's a powerful question for all of us to consider, not just content creators.
Ooh, that's a deep one. And that's exactly why we love these deep dives. We start with a seemingly simple question and end up exploring a whole universe of ideas.
That's the beauty of it, isn't it? It's about connecting the dots, seeing the bigger picture, and hopefully sparking some new insights along the way.
Okay, that question about our income disappearing. That's a scary thought. It really makes you think about what skills and assets you have that are truly valuable, what you could offer the world if you had to start over.
It is a bit unsettling, isn't it? But it's also a powerful prompt for self-reflection. Like, what would you do? How would you rebuild?
Honestly, my first reaction would probably be panic. But once I got past that, I try to figure out, like, what makes me uniquely valuable? What skills do I have that people would be willing to pay for? What problems can I solve?
Exactly. And that's the mindset shift a lot of creators are going through right now. They're realizing they need to be more than just entertainers. They need to provide real value, whether that's knowledge, skills, community building, or something else entirely.
So this whole TikTok situation, it's more than just a platform disappearing. It's a case study in resilience, in entrepreneurial thinking. It's forcing creators to think about their careers in a whole new way.
Absolutely. And it highlights a crucial point for all of us. In the digital age, we're all creators in some way. Whether we're building a business, marketing ourselves, or just sharing our ideas online, we're all creating content and building an audience.
So these lessons we're talking about, they apply to more than just influencers and TikTokers. It's relevant to anyone who's trying to build a presence online, right?
Absolutely. It's about understanding how to build a platform, connect with an audience, and create something of value. Those skills transcend any specific app or industry.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. But I have to ask, is there a right answer to all of this? Is there one platform or one strategy that guarantees success?
Unfortunately, there's no magic bullet. It's about experimentation, about finding what works for you and your unique audience. It's about being willing to adapt and try new things.
So it's a bit of a wild west out there.
Yeah.
But in a good way. It's exciting, but also a little daunting.
Exactly. It's a time of uncertainty, but also a time of incredible innovation in the creator economy. And that's what makes it so fascinating to watch. We're seeing creators come up with all sorts of new strategies and business models.
I'm curious, what are some of the most innovative things you're seeing? Are there specific creators or strategies that stand out to you?
We're seeing a real rise in creator collectives, where individual creators are pooling resources and audiences. It's like a modern-day guild system for content creation.
That's fascinating. I can see how that would be beneficial. Share the workload, cross-promote each other's content. It seems like a smart way to navigate this landscape.
It is. It's a great way to mitigate risk and expand reach. We're also seeing more and more creators embracing direct-to-fan monetization models, like Patreon and memberships.
Which makes sense, right? building that direct relationship
Yeah.
with your audience, cutting out the platform middleman. It gives creators more control and stability.
Exactly. It allows creators to build a sustainable business that's not entirely dependent on advertising revenue or platform algorithms. And it allows fans to directly support the creators they love and get access to exclusive content and experiences.
And let's not forget about the power of those niche platforms. I feel like we're seeing a lot of really interesting communities popping up in places like Discord, focused on very specific interests.
Absolutely. These communities are incredibly valuable because they're highly engaged and incredibly loyal. It's not just about numbers anymore. It's about building genuine connections with people who share your passions.
And those communities are willing to pay for that sense of belonging,
Right.
for access to exclusive content, for the opportunity to connect with like-minded individuals.
Precisely. It's about creating a space where people feel seen and heard, where they can connect with others who share their passions. It's about building a community that's more than just a follower count.
So it's not just about being a creator anymore. It's about being a community builder. That's a really interesting shift in perspective.
It is, and it's a reminder that at the end of the day, it's all about human connection. It's about building relationships, fostering trust, and creating something meaningful. And that's something that transcends any specific platform or algorithm.
You know, that's something that TikTok creators have always been really good at, building those strong connections with their audiences.
Absolutely. And those skills will serve them well no matter where they go next. They've built audiences, they've honed their storytelling abilities, and they've learned to adapt to an ever-changing landscape.
So even in the face of a potential ban, there's reason to be optimistic. There's hope for the future of these creators and for the future of online content creation in general.
Absolutely. This is a time of great upheaval, but it's also a time of great opportunity. It's a chance for creators to step up, to innovate, and to redefine what it means to succeed in the creator economy.
I love that perspective. It's not about fearing the unknown. It's about embracing the possibilities.
Exactly. And remember, you are not alone. There are countless creators, entrepreneurs, and innovators out there navigating these same challenges, experimenting with new ideas, and supporting each other along the way.
That's so important to remember. You don't have to figure this all out on your own. There's a whole community of people out there who are going through the same thing.
Exactly. So if you're feeling lost, if you're feeling overwhelmed, reach out, connect, collaborate, share your knowledge, learn from others, and build something amazing together.
Because the future of content creation is not about platforms. It's about people. It's about connection. It's about community.
Beautifully said. And that brings us to the last part of our deep dive, where we'll try to distill all of this information into some practical takeaways, some actionable advice for anyone looking to navigate this exciting, ever-evolving world of content creation.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's get practical. All right, so we've explored like the potential fallout of a TikTok ban. We've talked about everything from platform hopping to monetization strategies to community building. But now I'm really curious, like what's the takeaway for our listener? What can they actually do with all this information?
You know, after all this discussion, the biggest takeaway for me is this. Platforms come and go, algorithms change constantly, but your skills and your connection with your audience, those are the things that truly matter. Those are the foundations you can build upon, no matter what happens in this crazy world of social media.
That's really reassuring to hear. But how do we actually cultivate those skills and build those lasting connections? What are some concrete steps our listener can take?
Here's where we get practical. First and foremost, diversify your platforms. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Even if you're doing incredibly well on one platform right now, start experimenting with others. Try different formats, reach different audiences, explore different ways to connect with people. So even if you're like a TikTok superstar, it's smart to start building a presence on other platforms, almost like an insurance policy for your creative career.
Exactly. You never know what's going to happen in the future. The second thing I would suggest is to think beyond just content creation. What other skills or knowledge do you have that you can leverage? What other problems can you solve for people?
I love that. So let's say you're a creator who's also amazing at editing videos. You could start offering those editing services to other creators.
Exactly. Or maybe you have a knack for social media strategy. You could consult with businesses or even teach online courses. Think about what you're uniquely good at and how you can create value for others.
This is making me want to revamp my entire LinkedIn profile. It's not just about being a creator. It's about positioning yourself as a multifaceted creative entrepreneur.
Exactly. You're more than just a TikToker or a YouTuber or an Instagrammer. You're a creative force with multiple skills and talents. And the third piece of advice,
which is absolutely crucial,
is to build direct relationships with your audience. Ah, yes. The email list, the Patreon, the Discord server, all those things I keep meaning to set up. But why are they so important?
Because these platforms allow you to own your audience data. You can communicate directly with your fans, build a community that's not dependent on any one platform's algorithm,
Yeah.
and create a sense of belonging that's really powerful.
It's about fostering that sense of loyalty and engagement that goes beyond just likes and follows, right? Creating a space where people feel like they're part of something bigger.
Exactly. And those communities are incredibly valuable, both for creators and for the fans themselves. They foster a sense of ownership, a shared purpose, and a deeper level of interaction.
I gotta admit, building all of this, multiple platforms, a unique skill set, a thriving community, it sounds like a lot of work.
It is work, there's no denying that, but it's the kind of work that pays off in the long run. It's about building a sustainable career, not just chasing viral fame.
Yeah.
And it's about creating something that you're truly passionate about and sharing it with the world.
So if there's one key message our listeners should take away from this whole conversation about the potential TikTok ban and the future of content creation, what would it be? What's the big takeaway?
Embrace the uncertainty. The digital landscape is constantly changing, and that can be scary, but it's also incredibly exciting. It forces us to be adaptable, to be creative, to constantly learn and grow.
I love that. Don't fear the unknown. Embrace the possibilities. It's a much more empowering way to approach this whole thing.
And remember, you are not alone. There's a whole community of creators, entrepreneurs, and innovators out there who are going through the same challenges, experimenting with new ideas, and supporting each other along the way.
So if you're feeling lost or overwhelmed, reach out, connect with others, collaborate, share your knowledge, learn from others, and build something amazing together.
Because ultimately, the future of content creation is not about platforms. It's about people. It's about connection. It's about community. And it's about creating something meaningful in a world that desperately needs it.
Beautifully said. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of TikTok, platform dependence, and the future of content creation. Thanks for joining us on this journey. It's been a fascinating conversation.
It has, and I hope it sparks some new ideas and insights for our listeners.
Until next time.